Hey, what's up, you guys? We are super excited to announce our brand new official See the Thing Is podcast YouTube page.
That's right. We are moving off of Bridget Kelly's music YouTube page for our very own, where you can now watch the entire video of the See the Thing Is episode along with long form clips and maybe some more extra bonus things. So go on over now to the description of this episode and you will find the click to send you over to the new See the Thing Is page.
And make sure you subscribe, you like, you comment, you share. Mandii and I are gonna be engaging a lot more on the YouTube page as well.
We are.
Just to get in the comments.
Over there, y'all.
Okay? We'll see y'all soon. And thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you catch every episode, the audio episodes, every Tuesday and Friday, and all of the videos every Wednesday and Saturday.
That's right. See you there, guys.
Oh, go.
Hey, guys.
This song makes me want to dance and then fight.
Welcome, guys, to another episode of See the Thing Is. I'm going to let this ride just a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's Black History Month, baby. And we live in this country that y'all think is that great.
And then you want to fight. That's always how it starts, right? That's just how we are as Black people.
Hey.
Everything is a party until you try us. Everybody turned. Everyone had a good weekend. And now we at our office.
Here we go.
And now you want to fight.
God damn it. Look what I'm whipping up.
This is America.
Oh, God. And I really wanted to start the pod off just this way because, God damn, the whites have been whiting and the other POCs, those motherfuckers have been showing their ass as well during our month. But I ain't going to come in reading people just yet. We got a lot to talk about. And I'm super excited. We are being joined by as well Friends with Benefits a little later on.
Very, very special guest today.
But yeah, I guess shit. How was your week? How's shit been?
Girl, can I just say, we in our 30s now, right? So
we are.
Being in our 30s, it means there's a lot of like milestones and like life-changing events that happen. This is just a PSA for all of my friends that want to get married and have children and do all of these things. Those of us who are not married and do not have children are tired of paying for y'all's life choices. It's very expensive. I went to a baby shower on Saturday and I realized, I was like, there's a lot of great gifts here. There's a lot, but there's so much that goes into a baby shower. Mm-hmm. And like my partner and I have talked about it, and I told him, I was like, if we decide we want to have kids, because I'm on the fence. I don't care one way or the other. If we do decide to do that, I'm not doing a baby shower.
Why not?
Because I want to do a drop party.
What is that?
So I'm going to drop the baby, right? And then we're going to celebrate the life of the baby. We're going to have the baby like in a bassinet with the mosquito net,
oh my
over
God.
it so you can't breathe on it. You know what I'm saying? Have the baby in the corner, but I want to be able to do shots and turn up.
I mean, air particles, I think, can go through that net though. It's just to keep mosquitoes out,
You're right.
Bro.
So maybe we'll get the plastic, like the stroller cover.
God. You got to put them in a bubble.
Yeah, we'll just get a little thing and then you can see the baby. But we're going to celebrate, the coming of the healthy arrival of the baby. But then I'm gonna turn up with y'all. I'm not trying to be cute and fat in a dress with swollen feet and be tired.
Oh, I see.
And then everybody, because the baby shower I went to on Saturday was turned. That shit was it was a Jamaican Haitian baby shower.
Okay, so
the food
there
was
you go.
fire. The food was fire. The music was great, even though the DJ fucked up and played a couple of R. Kelly songs, which we booed and then got told not to boo because let's not do that. It's a baby shower. I was like, fuck out of here, R. Kelly. He rapes children. We're celebrating a baby. We trying to keep the vibes and the juju right here.
I told you, I still don't know what song to play other than A Woman's Fed Up when a woman's fed up. So I need y'all to give me another goddamn song.
Yeah.
Because, baby, that's still my go-to.
Wow.
And I do like that song with him and Sparkle.
Yeah.
But, I get it.
It's a lot.
We got to cancel.
But boo, Mandii. Boo. Yeah, I'm not here for R. Kelly.
All right.
But yeah, so I realized, I was like, this is great. But if I'm going to have everybody show up to celebrate me and spend all this money on stuff, it's like, I want to have a drop party. Like, let me get my body back. Like, celebrate me being back in shape. You know what I'm saying?
I know that's right.
I just feel like so much goes into, so much emphasis, and it's her first baby. It was her first baby.
Well,
so
you gotta do that.
She wanted to do it very special, and the baby daddy ended up proposing. The father ended up proposing to her. which
now see, I've seen
which took the baby shower to a different level, obviously.
I mean, that the same thing happened with my really good friend, Carla, the friend. She was also proposed to at her baby shower as well. I mean, I think it's
nice.
Yeah, it's a good way to get kill two birds with one stone. Is that?
Listen, he had a brand new Amiri shirt on. I said, well, this makes sense. This is why y'all wanted a $1,300 gift. Because the shirt was $900, but it's a dual purpose shirt. You know what I'm saying? It was current season Amiri.
Is Amiri the new Burberry at the baby shower?
Amiri is the new baby shower. Amiri is the new baby shower shirt.
Damn,
I found out.
Your friends got money.
I mean, that's what I thought. I was like, well, that makes sense why he bought that shirt, because it was his proposal too. So congratulations.
Congratulations to them. I guess I could give them a round of applause.
We'll give them a round of applause. Yeah. But yeah, girl, I'm tired of paying for people's life choices. I think we need to do like Secret Santa baby shower gifts. Like, oh, we have a price cap of $30
for the baby shower, bro.
Yeah, we could all buy. You know what the babies always need, and they never going to not need them. Diapers and wipes.
I mean, they gonna not need them once the baby grow up.
I mean, you know how many sizes there are of diapers?
I don't, because listen,
girl, it's a couple years.
Listen, that ain't,
my god baby is still in diapers. It's about to be 3 in August.
I'm good on the babies. You already know. I do. Speaking of being in your 30s, I just want to say,
how was your weekend?
In your 30s, you still learn which things you can and cannot take. And all I know is I was pretty sure Asante was going to kill me. So we recorded, shout out to the Oprah Rose podcast.
Yes.
We recorded with our good friends over there.
TT, Gigi, Didi.
You know. And then we killed a bottle of wine. And I was like, well, fuck it. I'm going to go over to my nigga house. And he had, so mind you, we killed a bottle of wine here. I go over to his house. In true nigga fashion, he only has Crown. So I'm drinking vanilla Crown and he had Coke. So I'm like, okay. And then he decides to roll me a blunt. Now, it could have been the wine. It could have been the Crown and Coke. Or it could have been the blunt. Or it could have been the fact that I wasn't really eating all week.
You also don't drink Crown. You don't drink dark. I don't drink
dark liquor. Mm-mm. So I don't know what part of it was, but I'm just blaming Asante. I was bent over the motherfucking toilet at fucking 7:30? 7 o'clock? It was 6:30, 7 o'clock, and I'm leaning over. I said, Asante. He said, you all right in there?
Jesus.
I said, Asante, come here. And he came, and I'm like bent over the toilet, throwing up foam. So I wasn't even throwing up food. It was just like foamy spit.
That's awful.
And then he's sitting down with me, right? He's like, you want me to make you some tea? So he makes me some peppermint tea, and then I go to lay on his couch. And do you know what this motherfucker said?
What?
He said, man, I'm about to smoke the rest of your blunt because my blunt didn't make me do that. And it's just like...
So you was trying to get on her level?
He was trying to die too.
He was trying to be on demon time with the phone coming out your mouth?
I'm literally sitting...
Black-salutely.
Look, he said black-salutely. I know that's right. No, so he's literally just...
No, couldn't be me.
Looking at me like, I think we smoked the same weed. Let me finish your blunt so I can feel as high as you feel.
No, ma'am.
Tell them how nice my bathroom is.
Oh yeah, nah, and of course his bathroom was nice. You gotta go.
Drinking dark liquor is supposed to have you bent over the kitchen counter, not bent over the toilet.
Wait, you also know your friend has a really clean home when you feel comfortable just laying
on the floor
in their bathroom with your head in their toilet, and you don't judge them the next day.
And you know what? Shout out to you, Asante, because most men do not keep a clean house.
But listen,
I'm really happy my partner and I have different bathrooms because it looks. I mean, I have a lot of clutter because I have more products.
I was gonna say I have a lot of products and makeup,
but as far as the cleanliness goes, like it takes a while. Yeah, I could not. It's also I don't lift the toilet seat up to go to the bathroom, so it looks different. Everything looks different.
I know that's right. Well, let me think. Where are we gonna start off today? I guess I did want to start off. Let's start off with the pettiness of it.
Shall we?
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about this with our guests, so let's get into it. I do have some audio as well to play, but for you guys who listen to gospel, I guess you guys are familiar with who Kiera Sheard is.
If you are a singer at all and you are not familiar with Kiera Sheard or the Clark sisters, you should do yourself a favor and Google them.
Well, good thing I'm not a singer, bitch, I was like, who is this? Who is this woman saying this shit? I don't know who this is. I wanted to start off by first leaning into what the interviewer asked as a question.
Okay.
Only because I do think that it led her to this answer, which we're going to get into.
Okay.
So let me go ahead and play this for y'all so that y'all can know kind of what we're about to talk about.
I'm not married, but once you're married, do not let another woman into your household. And I know you have close friends, and you know, we've seen it on TV, reality shows, we've seen it in real life, seen it on court shows, talk shows. You let a family member, a close friend, stay at your house for a while. Maybe they need a place to stay, and something happens with the husband.
My mama has already don't have too many people around you. Don't get comfortable. I don't care how good you trust or whatever it is. I'm very mindful and very careful. I will buy a friend a hotel room before I let them stay at my house. However, I am a prayerful woman to discern the space that I am in. I'm also very cautious of what purpose am I supposed to serve in this person's life.
So, she ended up responding to this because clearly the conversation is, and of course I want to have it with you, regarding bringing friends around your man. In this case, it's her husband. She decided to say this. Nowadays, healthy boundaries seem like insecurity and distrust to some. However, for those who like the truth, here's the full video for so many who are reaching and making juicy headlines. Again, I did want to say this because clearly the interviewer prefaced it that you can't really trust these bitches nowadays.
Right.
She said that I'm blessed to have a husband and friends who I trust. My family and friends are most welcome in my home, and they know who they are. I will remain prayerful and strategic in everything that I do, and so should you. Be encouraged to discern well, because common sense ain't so common these days. So protect your homes, husbands, children, careers, and more. You will avoid a lot of mistakes and trauma. Since we are in cancel culture, some haven't mastered diplomacy. It's considered phony or fake. So some are considered associates, then they are friends. But until we grow in relational intelligence, we won't understand fundamentals like this. Now, I kind of wanted to ask, what then is the difference between being insecure and placing a boundary on the people that you feel comfortable, so to speak, around your partner?
Well, I have a couple different takes. I do want to start with the fact that for the most part, as far as protecting your home is concerned, the part that is the most concerning for me is, and she touched on it at least in her response. A lot more women, especially women of color, and it doesn't just pertain specifically to Black women. Obviously, we're more familiar with Black women, but most women of color are much more conscious of protecting the men in their houses than they are the children. And my problem with this is that, the difference between creating a boundary and the insecurity, I think she touched on well at the end, was differentiating between who your friends are and who your associates are, and also discerning how much time are we talking about. Like, if I have a guest room and my partner and I have a guest bedroom, so we've had friends come and stay with us for a couple of days. It's not for extended stays. I wouldn't, even if I was a single woman, I wouldn't want somebody coming and staying an extended length of time necessarily with me. I think it's you gotta approach it case by case. I don't think it's fair to generalize that, you can't leave women around your husband in your house, or no, like what kind of a lot of the discernment too has to come from trusting yourself and understanding the type of environment that you've created with your partner in that space. That's where I was gonna go, because I think a lot of times just women want to place the blame on other women, being either thirsty, being attention craving. And to me, if you can't trust your friends around your partner, that has more to say about your relationship with your partner than the friends that you bring around them. Which is also the misogyny of religion at the end of the day, right? Women are accused of being temptresses, not men being accused of having weak character and a lack of integrity. Women are the temptresses in a lot of these environments where the religious guise is concerned, right? So I think that's a lot of what's coming with this as well for her. But I don't know. I trust my friends around my man. I trust my man around my friends. I can't imagine. But also the other part of it is too, for one, I don't have a ton of single friends. I have a couple.
Okay. I ain't gonna hold you.
I have a couple, but we don't like the same guys.
yeah.
Like, we don't have the same taste in guys.
I was so glad that we were not Eskimo sisters.
Girl.
Y'all do not understand the length of conversation. Me and Bridget just sat at multiple dinners
We had to
and
sit and
lunches.
go through our bodies like
the
sis.
whole bodies, bro. I was like, did we?
We have not one body in common, thank God.
And that is, I ain't gonna lie, it is a shocker. It was a shocker to me.
It is.
I was just sure we done took down some of the same niggas.
No.
And so we said, and I want to do men do that?
I mean, I feel like
Do men sit at a table and
talk about their bodies?
See if they Eskimo brothers? Like, and if they bust down the same chicks?
I think it depends. I think they do if they talking about hoe shit. I don't think they do if they talking about girls they actually like. Thank you.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, but even when we talk about it, like,
I mean, they'll run it by the homies. Like, I feel like in the beginning, in the talking stages, if you kind of like a girl, that's when you kind of run it like, yo, I'm talking to Shorty. Any of y'all smashed or know anybody that might have hit? Like, because I like her, so if I don't want to make it serious.
You know what's crazy about that, though?
Men do that.
You know what's crazy about that, though?
What?
I think for women, as long as we like if a man found out that his homies hit you, he probably won't be as interested in fucking with you. I think for women, we don't really care about that, right? Like, I don't think I've ever been like, as long as the nigga didn't mean nothing to a homie. Like, if I'm talking to one of my homegirls, right, and I'm like, man, I'm talking to this guy, and oh my God, I really like him, and then I say his name. And she's like, yeah, man, I actually fucked him a couple of years ago. Or, yeah, like, you know, I hit that. Because sometimes we talk like niggas, too, to be honest. I'd be like, shit, you know, I had that. I don't think it would keep me from wanting to talk to the guy at all.
I mean, it would. The only way it would for me is if there's an emotional connection. And I mean, when I say emotional connection,
bitches be falling for fucking just they tricks. Like,
yeah, but sometimes, but if that's the case, then it's like that's still a boundary I would respect. You know what I'm saying? It's like, even if because the other part of it is too, I've never liked anybody that much where I felt like, damn, I got it. No, like if my friend, my actual friend was into him, then I would draw the line there. I would. Except, I mean,
I told you, there we go. How good of friends are we?
It happened to me where I dated somebody a girl that I wasn't friends with anymore. I hadn't talked to in like 3 years. I didn't know that they had dated until he and I had started talking, because her and I weren't friends. I don't keep tabs on her, nothing. I didn't know that they dated, and then he and I were dating, and he was like, hey, by the way, I think you know my ex, like somebody that I used to talk to and date. And I was like, well, who is it? And he told me her name, and I was like, oh shit. And I was like, well, truth be told, I don't have any loyalty to her at this point, because I haven't talked to her in 3 years. It wasn't like we had a falling out over something that actually was not even real. It was like it was some rumor that she heard that she decided she just didn't like me anymore, and it wasn't even true. So it was kind of, we didn't have like any real beef. So it was kind of like, well, I don't need to call her. I don't need to do any of those things, because no.
Damn, I'm trying to think I mean, like my partner now, I went during the protest. I was out protesting with my homegirl, and he came to pick me up, and he actually had went on a date with her. It didn't go well, but they had went on a date. And we talked about it, and it was free flowing, and it was just like, oh, okay. And she acknowledged it too. Nothing happened between the two. And I don't know, like I said, I think my conversations with my homegirls are different. Like, me and my homegirl did fuck this one guy, and she didn't fuck him for a long time. And then when she came to New York, she fucked him. And we actually laughed because his dick was still just as bad as we both remembered it being. And we thought that over the years, it at least got better.
Wow.
And so we were able to just sit there and talk about how bad the dick was. I enjoy those type of conversations with my friends. Like, girl, well, did his dick get any better? And she was like, girl, no, it was still as bad as we both remembered it to be.
Yeah, I think the idea of passing up, you know, common sense ain't so common. I just think, I mean, sometimes you can have discernment and still make a mistake or make a misjudgment about character.
Played.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's gonna you keeping tabs on friends. Again, it sounded she made it sound like in the interview like she was talking about a friend coming and staying with her for like a month. I wouldn't want that if I was a single person. I don't want nobody staying with me for that period of time, no matter what the situation.
Yeah, the interviewee looked like she was projecting the way she went into that. I did also want to get into something too, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Because I know it's in the things that we do not care about. However, I just think I want to get this out the way.
Okay.
Y'all, Kanye West. By the way, this is probably the last time I even want to talk about Kanye and Kim.
This is definitely on the things we don't give a flying fuck about.
But I did, because it's Black History Month, I do have a problem with Kanye and what he just put out. As y'all may have seen, he posted these screenshots between Kim's family and himself, where basically they are siding with Kanye. But this is where I have a problem, all right? Especially during our fucking month. He says, actually, I just want to go down to the bottom. Real quick, he said he takes medication. Oh, my dad didn't have money. Or let me just read the whole thing. Hold on, actually, if I'm going to read the whole thing. I just want to pull something up while I read this, if you guys do not mind. All right. Y'all ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is an example of Kim's cousin agreeing with me about TikTok, then proceeding to ask me for some Yeezys afterwards. Her other cousin, Kiera, called me saying she agreed with me, then said she would speak out publicly, which she never did. Then she suggested I take medication. My dad didn't have money or a public voice, but my mom destroyed me and his relationship. I do this for every parent on either side whose kids' futures are being one-sidedly controlled. I don't even have the right to get angry as a father without being called erratic. I gave that family the culture. Hold on, here we go. Let me go out of this because it's my favorite part. I gave that family the culture. If they as a whole unit keep playing games with me, I will take that culture back. A father should never have to beg for the location of their children. There is one thing else he said about this. Can you go? Nope. Scroll. God damn it. It was about him being a black man. Oh, where is it? Damn. It may not be this fucking
It was
thing.
a different post.
It was a different post. But can you find the other post that he did, please? Please, 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 please. No, you could just stay probably right here on the shade room.
it's in
right.
Shade
It's
Room.
right next. It's right next to this post. Because as a black man who is now also parading around another white woman, I'm bothered with what else Kanye had to say in regards to being a black man and going through this with that of Kim K. Here we go, right here. Yep. So he decides to, of course, insinuate that Kim is going around saying that he put a hit out on her. He says, take my care. Okay, now I'm being accused of putting a hit on her. These ideas can actually get someone locked up. They play like that with black men's lives, whether it's getting them free or getting them locked up. I'm not playing about my black children anymore. So he's now also
Kanye.
referring to Kim as they, and I assume he's just referencing white women at this point, and kind of playing the victim, and I'm disgusted by it. I'm fucking disgusted by it because Kanye also was the one who sat up and said that slavery was a choice. You know what was a choice? Making your black babies with a white woman. How about that? And now also parading around another goddamn white woman with her a cool sculpting ass looking body out here just
Not
looking
cool
like what?
sculpting body.
It's definitely cool sculpted, bruh. Maybe not a BBL, but that bitch got the cool
definitely don't have a
sculpting going on.
BBL.
She got something going on with her body.
She might just sleep with a faja. It's fine.
Maybe that.
You know, she might just be sleeping with a faja. Look at that little hourglass.
I'm just bothered because this is I don't know. I'm bothered that Kanye is going this route now after what he has done, but also it's not like we've seen you out with a black woman at all. So the they that you speak of are the days that you make the choice to lay up with.
But also, you're not giving us no receipts. You complaining. Like
That's it.
You're not giving no receipts. You're just telling us, well, Kim said this, and now her cousin asking me for Yeezys. Bro, I mean,
which was crazy. If you
That's
read
a
it,
little-
she
that's a
technically
little-
didn't
that's a
ask for
little flagrant.
Yeezys.
She didn't ask for
She
Yeezys.
said, am I cool with getting Yeezys on StockX? Maybe just trying to check the
they
validity.
asked about StockX. They didn't ask about like,
yo,
can you,
I'm a size 7.5.
when
What you got?
When you on your way to the next birthday party, can you stop and pick me up a pair? That wasn't what was going on.
Literally, she asked, is it safe to buy Yeezys on StockX? So the fact that he did say, don't ask me about Yeezys right now,
Andrew wants belugas. We love to see you and the kids soon. Like that's not
a beg. It's not asking you for anything. I don't know.
But then she responded and said, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. I'm not upset. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I don't
You're
know.
upset. You're typing dissertations in all caps on Instagram.
I just
You're
think
upset.
that they need to take this back to their group chat with all of the attorneys that Kanye keeps having to get, since apparently he can't keep his own. I do like too how Kim has read him for filth in everything, but I'm actually tired of this. I'm really tired of it. And Kanye's just showing his ass. He just really is. He's showing his fucking ass, and I don't like that he's playing the black man trope card.
I'm not buying it.
I'm not buying it. I just don't like it.
But also, I mean, I feel it's like it sucks because as women, we know what it's like when somebody calls us crazy, when we're not crazy, when we're not being crazy,
right?
And we're not being irrational, we're not being, unreasonable, and we still get called crazy and dramatic and emotional. And I feel like this is a result of a lot of people trolling Kanye and saying he's crazy about things that are really important to him. You know what I mean? And I think there is something to be said. I mean, the only comment I will make about him about the reception of his antics,
right,
is the fact that we have as a culture and a society mocked and made fun of men who get emotional and about their children. I remember when Tyrese was crying on Instagram, and because he hadn't seen his daughter, and he was very distraught. Obviously, it wasn't like the crocodile tears, you know what I'm saying, that Jody would have given us after cheating. It wasn't that. It was really like genuinely distraught, disheveled, upset, and everybody laughed at him, and everybody thought, well, what's the problem? Like, just take your problems offline and be. And there is something to be said about how dismissive as a culture and a society we are around black men getting passionate and emotional about things like their kids or their relationships and fatherhood. And so that is a whole separate point on the side, right? What I do think needs to happen is that Kanye just needs to get offline because there are legal proceedings taking place around the co-parenting of the children. This is only going to make it worse for him.
You know what it's going to make it worse for? His relationship with North. And
well, all the kids at this point.
Well, no, because he's damn near embarrassed North twice now. Not only putting her the whole thing about TikTok on his Instagram, but he's also made reference to aborting her at one point, or wanting that to have been something. And North is old enough, has her own social media. I'm sure she could read this as well and what's going on. And the fact that the mom is the primary, this is something that I know. And I think I spoke about this as well last week. Like when parents are pit against each other, unfortunately, as children, you do kind of choose. You do choose one when you don't want to, or you just take in all of the bad things that they say about each other. And when you become an adult and you get to see this type of behavior, you start to look at your parents as adults, not as parents anymore. Like, I'm now at the phase, like, from the cheating to all the multiple girlfriends to just everything the behavior that I witnessed from my parents as a child stayed with me. And now that I've become an adult and I'm in a lot of those same type of predicaments, I judge now the decisions they made as adults. I can see who's a good person and who's not.
In those moments as a kid, that's a trauma response.
Yeah.
Now you have to address how you feel about both parents as a kid, and you have to take an adult approach.
Yeah.
You're expected now to grow up and perform in a much more emotionally mature way than you might even have the capacity for as a kid. So that's why, like, we see quotes and therapists tell us all the time, a lot of the stuff around controlling things or not getting emotionally attached to people is because we have abandonment issues, or we're afraid that we can't trust anybody because they're just going to hurt us. All of that stuff stems from all of the responsibilities, emotional responsibilities that were placed on us as kids to have to take care of situations regarding our parents.
But also what kills me about the co-parenting Olympics, I would say, is the need for competition, the need to be the better parent, when in fact you're not even focused now on how you're showing up as a parent. You're just focused on making the other one look worse than you.
Right.
And I think that that's what's going on here between Kim and Kanye. And like I said, this is, luckily I didn't grow up with the social media era, but this is very, very similar to how my upbringing took place in terms of co-parenting. And I saw my dad maybe one weekend a month for a long stint of time. And literally the whole weekend, it was him spending on how he got us name brand stuff and my mom didn't, how he took us out to eat and my mom didn't, and just how he was just the best. He was the better parent of the two. Yep. And again, that it just sucks because as a primary parent, like I get now that my mom wasn't able to buy the name brand because She was taking us to school every morning. She was paying for all the groceries. But also her bills were higher because the three of us were living with her.
And also think about how that shaped your perspective even around relationships. You don't want children and you don't want a husband.
Yeah.
And a lot of that stems from watching what your mom went through with three of y'all.
Yeah.
And making something out of nothing constantly. Yeah. Constantly. Shout out to Miss Tammy, by the way.
Shout out to hold on,
we need to bust some shots for Miss Tammy one time.
I'm gonna give her a round of applause.
Because Miss Tammy consistently, three kids, and a lot of women do it. A lot of women do it.
They do. They do. Wait, let's do that then. Shout out to all the moms. The single moms. And you know what?
But also all the parents trying to co-parent and do it successfully.
Yes. Because
it's a tough situation, man. It's really, really hard. Parenting in general is hard. Like, I'm watching my best friend do it. And it's so tough, right? Because you're expected to show up as so many different roles. There's so many different hats that you have to play, even within your partnership. If you are in a partnership and you have kids and it's a family, it's one family unit. There's so many different hats to put on. You know what I mean? It's like you're the caretaker, you're the financial provider, you're the emotional support, you're the person that has to be patient, and then you got to be patient when your partner isn't, and then one parent might not be in the mood, and so you got to pick up the slack. It's a lot. And so Mandii and I are not parents at this point. I'm a bonus parent.
We are not. But
I'm a bonus parent on weekends and whatnot, and I love it. I think it's fantastic. But also shout out to my partner and his daughter's mother, who have established such an incredible friendship co-parenting dynamic where the three of us are able to ultimately be this trifecta where the bottom line is the kid. That's the only way co-parenting is successful, if the bottom line, the end all be all, is the betterment and the success
Kanye
of the child.
doesn't seem like he's putting his kids first. He's putting his ego first.
Correct.
And unfortunately, you can want to be a father without letting your ego get in the way to where you have to completely tear down the other parent. And I don't want to see it no more.
I don't either.
I don't even want to see it no more. Kanye,
please somebody take Kanye.
Kanye, go kiss them other white lips that you got.
I don't think Kanye. I don't think Kanye is crazy. I think his behavior is erratic, which is not the same. I don't think he's crazy. I think the behavior is erratic, and I think he just feels isolated. So if y'all, anybody listening knows him personally, I mean, I don't know if y'all don't listen. They don't listen. The people that I know that know him personally don't listen to the podcast. But if y'all do, definitely take the time out to reach out and be a source of support for him, because it seems like he feels like everybody is ganging up on him as a dad, and that may not be really what's happening here. So
where is his friends at?
Right. That's how I be feeling. Because I be like, listen, I'm glad I got some friends that gonna rope me in and call me on my shit and be like, hey, so you okay? Sis, you good? Because you was losing your mind a little bit over there. It's important.
It is. Well, guys, we're gonna take a break and we will be right back.
All right, you guys. Well, it is New Year, New Me, New Year's resolution time, which means it's time to prioritize our workout routines, but also our health. And I started taking Athletic Greens because I really wanted to experience something a little bit different, right? I think getting into a routine is really hard when you're trying to work out and eat right and cut foods out. And what about cravings and mood swings and all that stuff? And hormonally, as women too, it also gets really tricky.
But what about your greens? Is it easy for you to just eat greens every day?
Well, not really.
Me neither.
It's not that easy, but I will say it's lifestyle friendly. Whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy free, gluten free, the multivitamin stuff is always really hard. And we always, if it's not Flintstones vitamins, we haven't taken them. It's tough to take vitamins, and it makes me feel old. But at least with the multivitamin that comes with Athletic Greens, I feel like I'm getting all of my daily dose of everything. To make it even easier, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free year's supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/STTI. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/STTI to take ownership of your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
All right, y'all. We back.
We try to get everybody in a good mood.
We do. Hey.
I love it. We might need that music on my podcast.
Yeah, listen.
You should.
This is cool.
You should. Yeah, we are joined by another Friends with Benefits, and I'm excited about this one. Go ahead and do the introduction.
Oh, I'm hyped. Guys, our friends with Benefits today joining us on the couch, the one and only Deray McKesson.
The one, the only. Hold on. Yeah. We got to give you a round of applause for joining us.
We need a round of applause.
I was going to give him
empty the clip.
I was going to bust shots on him, but let's bust shots. Okay, hold on, y'all. Damn.
Oh.
I know. Oh, I gotta slide everything up, y'all. I'm not a DJ just yet. I'm learning.
I'm surprised you get to do that. That's cool.
Right?
Okay, that's cool. I get that's 10 cool points.
So I have like gunshots.
I can't do it because I'll do it every time. Every time I say something or Mandii says something, it's gonna be around.
I love it. That's cool.
It's giving. Boom. Gunshot. No, but I'm super excited to have you here on the couch, and we got a whole lot to talk about. But can we first talk about how, if y'all are watching us on YouTube, this motherfucker showed up without a vest? I was waiting for the blue vest. I said, "Ooh, orange. This will go with the blue. It'll offset it a little bit."
It's funny. I had it on earlier, and then I was coming out. It's raining.
Yes,
the vest is actually down, so then the down gets wet. So that's the whole thing.
Heavy,
and then it's heavy, and then
it's cold.
So the vest is really warm. So sometimes when I'm in places with lights like this, I will just sweat. And it's not cute.
Have like one for? Is it the same one, or you got
same
multiple?
vest, just
Shut
one.
Shut up.
What's funny though is that people think I have this like love of vests, so they give me vests as gifts. So I have
You're
like
lying.
7 vests that people have given me over the years.
Social media is
but
crazy.
It's just one. It means a lot to me. I've worn it, for a long time. I still wear it, but it's just one. And Patagonia will fix it. They'll like if it breaks,
incredible.
they'll wash it for me because like washing the down's a whole thing. So they've been incredible.
First off, this subtle flex is brought to you by. I guarantee no one else has that type of privilege.
No flex.
Unless you're a professional rock climber, I feel like nobody else gets to go to Patagonia.
No
like,
flex.
hey, can you?
I'm not sponsored though, because that'll be what I hear. They're like, he's sponsored. I'm like, I love Patagonia. They believe the community.
Y'all. He bought that vest.
Bought it in 2009. Just
it's come a long way with you.
I bought it at Paragon Sports in Union Square. Actually,
wow.
Dang,
I love that. Go vest.
Go vest.
Well, it's Black History Month, so we decided this month we were like, I mean, we want nothing but all stars. We want to just celebrate everyone's blackness because your favorite repeat mantra on Twitter, for those of y'all who don't follow Deray, is "I love my blackness and yours."
Yeah.
And so it's great. It's great to have you here. You got a lot going on. Obviously, your activism is nonstop, and because the police can't seem to figure out how to operate as human beings first, and then cops, there's always plenty to protest and advocate for.
Too much to talk about. Yeah, the police kill about 1,100 people a year, which is sort of wild. Hasn't really changed. A third of all the people killed by a stranger in the country is actually killed by a police officer, which people don't know.
Oh,
so people think about this as like a niche thing because you know the big name, like you know the names that have become big stories, but the police kill about 3 people a day.
Right.
So it's one of those things that it's like it's a much bigger issue than people understand.
And do you feel like, I mean, something that keeps popping up, even when we talk about activism and we talk about defunding police and things like that, where do things get blurry between like just like being pro police reform
and defunding,
and well, not even just defunding, but abolishing police altogether. Like where is there room to meet in the middle, if there is any?
Yeah, so I think it's a false choice to tell people they have to choose one or the other. I think that like every organizer I know is like dealing with the tension between how to alleviate pain and suffering today,
right,
and how to undo the system, right? So like I want to end solitary confinement. The end of solitary confinement is not the end of jail. I get it,
right?
But you should not be locked up in a cell for 23 hours. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
And we should also end we should not put people in cages, right? Both of those things are true at the same time.
Right.
I believe in mutual aid. That's not the end of poverty, but like, should we help people in community?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, let me ask you this
and we
question.
should end poverty.
Do you believe? You said you don't believe in putting people in cages. Are there any sort of crimes that you do feel are justified to keep them away from society, though?
Good question, right? So those are 2 different things, right? So we can acknowledge that there will be harm in community and there will be conflict. Somebody has to respond to the harm and conflict. I give you that.
Right. Okay.
Does the person have to be a person with a gun? I would say probably not for the vast majority of things, right?
Gotcha.
So like, you've been in situations that have been high conflict and somebody's resolved it without a police officer or handcuffs, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And like, I used to teach. There have been fights. Like we figured out how to make it work without a gun or handcuffs. Only 5% of 911 calls in the United States are for violent crime. It's not. It's actually just not what people believe to be true. Most of the arrests are actually not for violent crime that happen in communities. And then about jails, we say 2 things. One is that we believe in accountability without cages. That there can be a consequence, right? And we think about the difference between consequence and punishment. Consequence is about change. Punishment is about pain.
Wow.
So I put you in timeout when I was a teacher because I want you to reflect on your behavior and make a different choice, right?
Right.
if a teacher's like throwing a pencil at you, that's not about you making a different choice. That is like just to cause you pain, right? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. See, it's weird for me. So I used to live in Singapore for like 6 months, and it's one of the lowest crime countries. And so it's weird because for whatever reason, we don't fear the government here, but in a lot of those other countries, even like in Dubai and in the Middle East, they fear the country so much that it kind of just forces people to just behave better. And I don't know.
Is it really behaving if you have no freedom? If you're like
Singapore, you had freedom, but I remember like even when I studied abroad, literally we're given the tour of the island, and the administrators of our school are like, by the way, guys, you don't have to really lock your doors because there's no crime here. And so I don't know how they were able to. I mean, yes, I know it's much smaller than what the U.S. is handling, but even in certain cities, the fact that we have crime everywhere. And I lived in a place where literally crime was not even thought of. They said you could walk the streets at 3 a.m. You don't have to lock your doors. And so to have experienced that, they literally just issue fines that make people you can't even have chewing gum on the subway.
It is a reminder that it's possible, though, right?
It is possible,
and
right?
The hard part about Dubai, though, Dubai has an underclass that is unbelievably poor.
Yes.
Right?
A lot of their immigrants. Like, you're not having money there unless you are born and raised there.
Correct.
And you're born into money. If you just go there, they highly underpay.
I mean, yes. There's an underclass of people. And women are not...
They're not equal.
They're not agreed.
You know?
Agreed.
So it's like, it's beautiful and gorgeous, but the cost of it is like... pretty incredible, you know what I mean?
But also, America, as far as our police system goes, a lot of the calls to 911 too, a lot of these things are community, they're social issues. They're not, and police are trained to do damage control, not conflict resolution. So like, cops are getting called for things in the community that are never de-escalated by their presence. Like, the cops don't de-escalate anything.
They did for me. They just put me in handcuffs and put me in jail, and it wasn't even my fault. I was breaking up the fight, and I got arrested for assault. I swear to God, don't look at me like that, because no, my friends. I swear I was breaking it up.
She actually was trying to be the peacemaker and break things up.
The fact that D-Ray just looked at me like,
I'm like, okay, I hear a lot of stories every day. What's the truth in this one?
The long and short of it was her and her friend were in a nail salon. Her friend was not happy with the service. They were there for a long time. The girl was very vocal about not being happy with the service.
She did give money, but not the full. And they chased
them
us
out of the store
for 2 blocks.
And then there was 2 men and a woman, and they were all pretty much cornering her and began assaulting her. So Mandii went in to break it up, and the guy assaulted her.
Assaulted me.
So then she's defending herself. So it just became this whole kind of brawl thing.
Did you go to Rikers?
No, I didn't go to Rikers. I ain't gonna hold you actually though. So I just had my deposition. See, this is how much of a criminal I am not. I don't even know the words. All I know is I had to go for my arraignment, and I started just writing numbers on my hand because I was like, in case I didn't remember anyone's number. Like, do you have anyone's number memorized, D-Ray?
I do, but I also we got prepared for it, you know.
Okay. Well, not me.
Just in
case.
But
I didn't end up at Rikers. I was just at Queens County holding.
Okay.
So not Rikers. I know like there's a lot going on at Rikers right now.
The last thing I'll say though to what you said earlier is like, we also believe that and you made this distinction yourself, you just didn't realize you did it, is this idea that like there are some people who will do things so wrong that they should be separated from society. Right? So like, if you hurt kids, shouldn't be around kids, right? If you abuse women, shouldn't be around, like, everybody agrees to that. The question is, how do you separate them?
Right.
And that's actually what we need to talk about together. That's the complicated thing. A cage, I'm not convinced, is the best way to separate them, because remember, the vast majority of people that get incarcerated come out. Like, they're coming back into community.
Right. And there's no reacclimation process at all for them.
Right.
None.
So they're not getting service. Like, people aren't like getting resources to make different choices when they come out.
Right.
They're being screwed over in the process and then dumped back into community. And like, that actually doesn't help any of us, right? So we can agree that there should be some people do things so wrong. We got to figure out how to separate you. Yeah. But I'm not convinced that like a cage is the best way to do that. And I did a tour of prisons in Germany, and they were very different. You know, they were sort of like,
they better be different after what we know they did in their history. I mean, I'm sorry.
And
if that's the case, then we need to have nap pods for our prisoners if we're going to talk about history. Yeah.
I did want to ask you, and I want to play this clip, especially with us being in Black History Month. I think a lot of ways in which we can look at change is by learning from
the past.
The past. Now, T-Pain had...
Go ahead. Philosopher. T-Pain. I don't know what this is going to be, so Lord knows.
He had a different thought. So
God.
I want to play
T-Pain,
this
please
clip.
don't say something. Wild.
This is what he had to say.
Any insight, all right, for how white people can properly celebrate Black History Month the right way?
Stop celebrating it. I don't think we should celebrate Black History Month. I think we should just have history. I think they overshot it. We don't want our own shit. You're separating us again.
He said we overshot it.
We want to be part of history, not just 1 month of it. Like, we want to be part of history. Don't celebrate 1 month for us. I'd rather everybody stop celebrating that shit and just let us be part of history and not just, y'all get paid attention to for this the shortest month of the year.
Hey, 28 days, that's true. That's true.
So he says that we should just be a part of history, and that's what they're doing again, is segregating us, separating us by giving us our own month. And I just wanted to know your thoughts, because also Kanye is also out here saying it needs to be Black Future Month, and we need to look to the future and not harp in the past. And I wanted to know, like, realistically, your thoughts, because what you do now as an activist,
not when they trying to pass laws to ban certain books and teachings in schools,
right,
about Black history.
But what you're doing now, the pictures that I've seen you in, are also just very reminiscent of what happened during the Civil Rights Movement and the other activists that we have in our history. And clearly, there's still not much change that has happened. So how important do you think it is for Black history to still be a focal point in teachings?
T-Pain statements make me sad. Like, that is
Right.
that is sad. But it also reminds me that we have a lot of work to do to help people understand the importance of history and the importance of Black
it was
people
not a choice,
in America.
Kanye.
Yeah, and like, what a luxury it is to. Or, I didn't think about this. I didn't know we were going to talk about T-Pain. So let me put this together in real time. What I believe to be true is that the reason why we focus on this month is to put a spotlight on a set of people who've been disenfranchised in such an incredible way,
right,
and to like focus really intentionally.
Right.
What is also true is that like the history of America is us. Like, we made this thing what it is. Correct. We made it pop. We made it crackle. Like, we are all of it. Mm-hmm. Without us, there is no America, and we should remind people of that. As teachers, one of the things that we no longer tell kids, like, you can be anything you want. You can, not because we don't believe it, but because, Black and brown kids can do everything right.
And still not
make it, not because it's their fault, but because a system is designed to stop them, right?
Right.
And part of the reason why we tell the historical past is both to remind people that, like, our people did it first, did it better.
Right.
Like, your comparison is never white people. We've always done it
Never.
like better. Do you know what I mean? We made this thing.
Yeah.
So that makes me sad. I'm hopeful that somebody can get close to T-Pain and help him understand the beauty of talking about Black people and telling these stories.
When you were a teacher, was there a specific curriculum for Black History Month, or was everybody just kind of winging it, or were there like bullet points like, make sure we talk about, Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech?
I taught 6th grade math.
Okay.
So, in math, we didn't have a ton of stories.
Right.
It was math.
Right.
So we did famous mathematicians. We did like those sort of, did those stories. And it was cool just to remind people we push people in this idea that we came from kings and queens. We remind people that we came from plumbers and gardeners and mothers. Like, Black people have always been beautiful and complex, and we came from all of it, right?
Right.
That, like, you are not worthy only because our ancestry was kings. You're worthy because, like, electricians matter, and people, the fact that people are alive is actually a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm so proud we were able to do with kids.
Yeah. I think it's hard too, because there's equal emphasis, but how do you prioritize, on the one hand, teaching the important moments of history while at the same time emphasizing there were some dark moments of history we're also trying to avoid repeating, even though a lot of these situations and circumstances keep coming back up. I think the hard part, I think it's exhausting. I think T-Pain is exhausted. It sounds like he's just exhausted exhausted existing, which, I mean, it's not unheard of.
I want to share the link to this. I'll be honest. Y'all know I love Twitter.
Yes.
So I love ending up down the rabbit holes. And there's some place in Mississippi called the Punch Bowl or something like that. And I ended up looking into it. And even speaking of how they incarcerated people when slaves became free, Mississippi decided to take 20,000 slaves that tried to free and pretty much encage them in this like cavernous region in Mississippi. And they all just died. They were letting them die off, mostly women and children, because they ended up bringing the men to do work. But there's this area where now a lot of fruit grows. and no one will eat it because they understand what that land is soiled with.
Wow.
And it was just interesting reading all these things. I think
found this on Twitter?
On Twitter.
Shout out to you.
Yes, every year, and I love going down rabbit holes, finding these just things.
I'm gonna go Google this when I get.
Look up the Punch Bowl. Can you Google it real quick? Yeah, the Punch Bowl, Mississippi.
Real time.
Yes.
Okay, real time.
Yes.
Because it might be the Devil's Punch Bowl. There we go.
Yeah.
And just the history surrounding what happened to these slaves. Yeah, this is the exact article that I ended up coming across, and it's just really, really sad. So even when we talk about the lynchings and things that happen, and I ended up through this article because what we also don't really hear about the Emmett Till stories, when they found his body in the river, they found 7 other bodies,
right.
And apparently families didn't even they pretty much knew that this is where bodies were thrown in Mississippi, and they just never looked.
You better teach during Black History Month. Go ahead and teach. Go ahead and teach.
I really love this. This is the same thing I do for documentaries. I Google, and so if you guys look up the Devil's Punch Bowl, it's just really this is the Black history that they don't teach us, and I love finding things like that.
You would really like. There's a book called Black Women, Black Love, and it's a history of America's war on Black relationships by Professor Diane Stewart, who's incredible. But before I tell you what I learned from the book, I'll tell you one of the reasons why I think the study of Black history is so powerful is that it always reminds me that we did not choose poverty, right? We did not choose that. Like Black people didn't choose this. Like we got put into situations with no resources and still made magic.
Still
out of
making
all of it, right?
Magic.
Still
Yes,
like we
still
are
made
magic and beautiful, but like Black people didn't choose this this situation that we are in.
Right.
And one of the things that she talks about is that I was reading the book and I interviewed her on the pod, but she talks about how at the end of enslavement, that the government forced Black families to get married. And I'm like, never heard that. That's
I didn't know that.
Really interesting. And I'm sort of thinking like, oh, that's really progressive at the time. And she was like, no, it was meant to circumvent the government's responsibility to feed women and children. Because if the man is the head of household, he's on the hook for all of these people who are suddenly free and have no money, but the government doesn't have to feed them.
Wow.
I ain't gonna hold you. I've had this same conversation with my man as to why they wanted the Black men out the house, and they used it through the SNAP program and food stamps. With Section 8 and food stamps,
absolutely.
Women, if there was a man, even men's shoes, mind you, they did house checks.
They did.
So if there was a pair of men's shoes, you would lose those benefits, and that's how the government even made a lot of Black families not want a Black man in the household, just so that they can receive those government benefits.
She writes about it, and what she did for me that was so powerful is that she was like, remember that Black love is a policy issue,
right?
That the government has actually worked really intentionally to disrupt Black relationship. And I was like, and the other thing that she says in the book that I will never forget is that she was like, lynchings, we obviously know stories of lynchings.
Of course.
She's like, what people don't know is that the genitalia of Black people were trading objects.
Excuse me?
What?
So like there are stories of like, a guy went and took the genitalia from a man who was lynched, gave it to his girlfriend on a date, like they put them on mantles, that like that the body of Blackness itself was actually a commodity, like something to be traded and bartered.
I mean, and speaking of that, I ran across too, by the way.
I mean, we gonna segue because I know exactly where you're gonna go with this.
Yeah.
quote.
Oh, I was definitely gonna take it there. Do you want to go there?
We should.
Oh, what is it?
Oh, you can go ahead.
Well, I mean, we'll segue into this Joe Rogan.
Joe.
Yes.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about Joe Rogan because he and actually
gonna be about the N word.
Well, it's about the N word, but even bigger than that, he had made a comment about.
It wasn't him. It was a guest.
Or it was his guest.
Just based on, I want to play you the audio as well, and then we'll get into the bits on Joe Rogan, because I mean, clearly you guys already know what's been going on. He's had over 110 shows pulled now, and I know there's been a lot of people in support of Joe Rogan, and kind of making it seem like, oh well, he said the N-word in jest. But I did want to also share with you guys one of the guests that he had on his pod and kind of what they thought was appropriate to say.
The MAOA.
One moment.
There's this whole debate about the MAOA gene. Which
have you heard of that
gene that Black Africans have? It's like a proclivity to violence that they have.
A proclivity to violence.
I recommend people Google it and do their own research. It's like a big debate about whether or not.
But
basically, like what it is.
I don't know that white man.
If you think about kind of white European, Asian ancestors as we kind of moved out of Africa, like aggression and violence was kind of less necessary because we were like farmers and stuff. Right?
His name is Chuck C. Johnson.
Chuck C. Johnson.
So I have a relation. So Chuck was the first person ever permanently banned from Twitter.
Oh wait, shut up.
And he was banned for raising money to try and get me killed.
Wow. Wait, are you serious?
I know, this is who knew Chuck would make an appearance today in my life.
Wow. So he was on the Joe Rogan pod, and someone, Dr. Ibram X. Kendi, went deeper into this and said the most violent racist idea is the idea that a racial group is by nature or nurture violent. For centuries, racist power has justified the murders of black people by imagining this black predisposition to violence, the tragic normality of the murdered being called violent, and then it's followed by quotes from I believe it's a quote from Amir Locke, or just surrounding him, RIP as well. But to racist logic, black people can't be scared, only scary. Yep. Can't own a weapon, can only be perceived as one. Can't self-defend, only engage in violence. Meanwhile, to racist logic, white people can't be scary, only scared. White supremacists never engage in violence, only self-defense. And all the while, the political violence of white supremacists is called legitimate political discourse.
Maybe this is a different Charles Johnson. Can you scroll back up?
It says
the green football. Maybe this is a different one, but
this is a different.
Chuck Johnson was the first. So either way,
this is Chuck explaining that.
This is so that account is not actually the person.
No.
Okay.
No,
Chuck
This
C. Johnson is the name of the guest.
This is a reminder that Chuck C. Johnson is not me. So this is Chuck C.
This
Johnson.
is Chuck, he's banned from Twitter.
That is wild.
So, we call this scientific racism. There's a whole industry that was like produced that our skulls were different. That, you probably heard the famous study that even in medical school students don't think that black people feel pain the same as white.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, we deal with that as black women when going during. That's why our mortality rate during birth is so high, because they don't believe that black women can be in pain.
Yeah,
and so they don't believe them when they say I'm in pain.
But that's also because black women are not treated for a lot of the prenatal issues that come up when they come up, because they're not believed that they are issues. Preeclampsia is a major problem. Blood clotting, all of that is a major issue medically, and it's not. I mean. You walk through the Smithsonian Museum and you see all of the tools and the clamps and all of the equipment that was used to mutilate black women in during slavery.
And do you know the history of gynecology?
And beyond? No.
Oh, this would be a rabbit hole for you. You should take it.
I'm like, oh,
so God, the father of gynecology, actually, he perfected the method on the bodies of enslaved women.
That makes sense, because they literally have all of these different. I can't even explain them. They're contraptions
at the African American Museum.
Yes, that were utilized completely strictly on slaves, on black women. That was it.
So he essentially people, other slave owners were like loaned out the women to him.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So that because remember their wives and stuff were also they were experiencing pain and needed help, but they weren't going to test them on their bodies, and they actually tested all these horrific procedures, and he writes about it. So he writes about, or there's a retelling of the day where he's like, oh, this is how you do it.
Can I also tell you how uncomfortable this makes me feel, because it makes me think of the Cosby Show and Bill Cosby, but that's a whole nother thing. I just watched the documentary that just came out, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that on Thursday. But that's where your mind just hit, because he was a gynecologist in the Cosby Show and did it out of his basement. So and he picked so the psychology. There's a rabbit hole
in the Cosby Show. He literally had his office downstairs and had pregnant women coming into the house.
That is crazy.
It was crazy. And he created the show. But I did want to get back to, of course, Joe Rogan. That's the constant conversation. The Spotify CEO did also come out today and says that he's not silencing Joe. So sorry that y'all niggas is mad with the hard ER, since that's how Joe Rogan liked to say it. They removed now over 113 episodes. It was at 70 and counting, I guess. They just keep finding him say it. And I know a lot of people are talking about, he's saying it in jest, or saying it, while during Black History Month. The fact that he's saying it at all, we know what that means. I kind of wanted to know your take on, because clearly vaccine
and also an artist taking their music off of Spotify does nothing to Spotify, because they pay us 0.03 cents for every stream anyway.
You're like, yeah.
So I'm like, it's like, I'm like, shout out to Mandii for being such a a staunch protester and deciding to take all of her music off of, and Neil Young as well, taking his music off of Spotify, but it's a small. You're literally not making that big of a dent, unfortunately, the way that we would like, because Spotify pays us the least.
I had to mute it, but what are your thoughts on this whole Joe Rogan situation?
Yeah, two just quick things. One is that, people keep talking about the freedom of speech, and it's like, remember, that's a government protection and not about private companies, right?
Right.
And that even freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from accountability. And like Joe, it's one thing to say it once and you're like, that was bad and inappropriate.
Like Justin Bieber, he was a child.
You're like 100 times. You're like, what were you? What is going on? And you know that if you made a mistake 100 times, they'd have shut this whole place down.
Correct.
You would be unemployed, no matter how crazy the deal was. You'd be out of here. You know what I mean?
Immediately.
Your career would be over.
Right.
And I mean, it's just another example of white people protecting white people. And and it's like, 100 million, this is an investment, right? You're trying to save the money.
Yep.
But it's been really wild to see people be like, well, and you're like, it's 100.
Have you ever gone
times
on his show? Because I have been seeing also just the conversation around many people in our community, like the Dave Chappelle's, like the big people are going on his show.
Wanting to, but also wanting to not even shift the narrative. I don't think anybody's interested in shifting the narrative. I think, but like I told you earlier, if we're really gonna stand firm in not wanting to participate in cancel culture, there is an element of having to then try to participate in conversation that could potentially be meaningful later on. But sometimes we just gotta call a spade and be like, you said this word 100 something times, bro. This was not a mistake. This was a very active decision.
But do you sit with someone and teach them? Like, do you feel like sitting with someone who makes that mistake 100 times is worth
the hard part
with?
is that a mistake is something that occurs infrequently, right?
Right.
100 times is a choice.
Yep. Right.
And I don't know how you counsel out a choice. Like he made a choice to do this over and over.
Right.
Now, I've never said this. Nobody's asked me before, but Rogan and I did DM. We had DM'd in the past way during the protest because he was really interested when we were way before I knew what a podcast was, had listened to a podcast, didn't know who Joe Rogan was.
When he was really probably just still a comedian and not, he wasn't,
I had
he
no
wasn't
clue.
in podcast
I didn't know
space.
he was a comedian.
But he had a big podcast. I remember he had a podcast, but I had never listened to my sister listened to a podcast, but I had literally never listened to any podcast
now you're a
before in my life.
podcaster.
Now I'm a podcast. But it was way back, maybe 2015. We had DM'd it. He was like, can you come on the show? It's in LA. I'm like, we still in the middle of the street. I'm like, I could call you, but I can't. I have no money. I don't know how I'm gonna get to LA. So it never worked out. But when it all flipped up, I'm like, that's the same guy I was DMing with a long time ago.
Oh, wow.
But he seemed to be, I knew very little. It's funny. I look back now and I look at these podcast companies email me while we were in the street being like, there should be a movement podcast. And I'm like, what's a podcast? I've never heard of those things before. But yeah, we never connected. But
after seeing this, would you take him up on his offer if he
today?
asked you? Yes.
No.
Okay.
No. I don't know. The hard part, even that video was sort of an apology. You're like,
he could have kept that.
You're like,
he could have kept that.
You just said a lot of words.
For 5 minutes and 32 seconds. It was a long ass apology, drawn out.
With a black stepdaughter, it's like that makes me sad for her. I can only imagine what it's like to be around that every day.
Right.
That sucks,
Yeah.
The part that bothers me is you didn't really think anything was, you thought it was okay. Well, and that's the part to me that it's like, where do we draw the line then about what's race like? Because people are defending, which is exactly, I remember that being the narrative around the George Zimmerman case, where the argument became, oh, well, he's not a racist versus he just murdered a kid. You know what I'm saying? So now we've changed the base of the argument,
right,
to where he said this 100 and something times because every single guest on this episode sat there with him and was like, no one stopped him, was like, bro, you shouldn't say that. This is not okay. So it's been behavior that's been accepted and embraced ultimately by him.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So it's not, the idea of an apology not being sincere, I think he feels badly that it's offended people, but it's like somebody who apologizes for getting caught cheating. You're not really sorry that you cheated, you're sorry you got caught.
That you got caught.
It is one of those things where one of the defining features of whiteness, is that white people cannot imagine. White people can't imagine that there's something they can't participate in. They just cannot. They can't fathom it.
Right. Right.
And he just can't imagine there's a word he can't say.
Which is the argument that I'm seeing on Twitter. Which, by the way, I had to mute.
I had to mute it.
Point. They are out the woodwork. So you
Cannot
got a whole lot
imagine.
of work to do. Because, baby, the racist is loud and wrong right now. And it is. It's the fact that they feel like, who are they, black people, to tell us what we can and cannot do and what we can and cannot
whiteness
say.
Can't imagine that every day. Like white, and that's why we talk about this, the idea that whiteness at its core is domination, right? Like it cannot imagine that it's that there's a thing it can't participate in. And you're like, wild. This ain't yours, this ours.
Just like Florida, it's been what, the oppression Olympics is what we call it.
Yeah.
Like them having to wear a mask and just the thing that now they feel like, first off, even the conversation of a lot of white men now thinking that they're oppressed in the workplace because now there's the diversity and inclusion initiative in all these companies.
Like, you don't even know what oppression is.
They are now the disenfranchised population. And I'm like, oh, do tell.
Right.
Please,
You're like,
enlighten me.
You don't even know what that is. Oh. No, it is. It is wild. One of the things that we're working on too that is this will be a quiz to see how much do you think you have to steal in New York to be considered a felon. So remember the difference between felony and
misdemeanor.
Yep. So is a year or more in prison. So a misdemeanor is less than a year. Prison is more than a year in most places.
$600.
$600. What do you think? No, I didn't say you was right. I'm logging that I heard.
I'm like,
yours.
it's an amount.
Yeah,
it's a
dollar amount. Yeah.
Oh. What puts you over the line?
Yeah. What's the dollar amount that makes it a felony?
I didn't know there was a dollar amount. I was looking at it like if it's tax evasion or Yeah, that's more
now
so like
going straight to white collar crimes.
I mean, if we gonna do it, it's like you'll do more time for tax evasion.
No, I think if you steal a TV out of Best Buy, that's a felony. I think 600.
I'm gonna go with $250 because I wouldn't be surprised if it's low.
It's 1,000 in New York.
Oh, okay.
1,000. The lowest in the country is New Jersey at a whopping 200.
Yeah.
It was said in 1978 you can get like 18 months in prison for stealing over $200 in New Jersey. The highest in the country ever is $2,500, Wisconsin and Texas.
Holy shit!
It's like, could you imagine? Like $2,500 is so basically two laptops.
You're stealing a steer in Wisconsin,
right?
And then that's how you're gonna go to prison.
Like, this is
livestock. That's what's worth $2,500.
But leading to knowing that you could get a felony for $200 in Jersey, it's crazy because one of the founders of BLM recently was arrested.
No, you're talking. There's somebody in like a local group.
The local group. Out Mississippi, I believe, and we were talking about Mississippi earlier, but. The fact that you could get a felony for $200 in Jersey with a felony, you cannot vote.
Right.
Moving forward, and we just even the idea that you can't vote for stealing something for $200.
And luckily, there's a momentum around changing felony voting, so like voting laws around felonies. So that is moving. And even more interestingly, like what happens? This is something a lot of people don't think about. What happens if you're in jail on election day?
Right.
And remember, you're in jail. You haven't been convicted of anything. You just start in jail waiting trial. So there's even a really good movement to put voting booths in jail because you weren't convicted of anything. You just are accused of a crime, right?
You were just were just charged.
I want to know a little bit of what you're doing currently. Of course, you have the pod, and you guys have a lot of amazing conversations. But Wisconsin, around Amir Locke and
Minnesota.
Sorry,
Minneapolis.
I just know it's
like you loving the whole
there.
Those
the
people
whole
want
area.
They will fight you.
Hold on. Do you know what's crazy about
together.
that? You know what's crazy about that? I could be given $1 million right now to sit here and list that whole middle part of America.
Geography at all,
baby.
No.
All I know
you said
is
it's so seriously. You're like, and Wisconsin,
Minnesota. There we go. All I know is it's cold, and the bitch don't want to go there.
Minnesota,
but it's cold.
Minnesota is just it's the most embarrassing state for me where law enforcement is concerned. Yes.
Oh shit.
Absolutely. Okay. Yes. George Floyd died here.
Yes.
Like it's a lot. Minnesota is not. They're not doing well. They're not doing well on the law enforcement.
Yeah, Minneapolis has a lot of work to do. You know, Amir should be alive today. That's clear.
Absolutely.
You saw the video. Yes. You probably read the statement. The statement said that they loudly said they were the police. We all saw that video. Didn't see loudly. And he dies before he even has a chance to really move, you know?
Right.
So talk to the mayor on Friday, the mayor of Minneapolis. We're working with the mayor and his team to change the policy so it can restrict and ban no-knock raids. Now, I will just take 2 seconds of wonky.
Yeah.
There are two types of warrants. There's a no-knock warrant, which you know, right? It's like break through the door, say I'm the police. But the regular search warrant is called a knock and announce. And a knock and announce is like, I'm supposed to knock and then announce and then go in, right?
The police.
Right. Just like that. Functionally, it's the same for you. If you're in bed, if I say, hey, Bridget, I'm here, and then break your door down, you are experiencing it the same as if I just broke the door down because you probably didn't hear me, right? So the actual fix is not just banning no-knock warrants, but it's actually restricting the execution of all search warrants so they can't turn into something else. Because the regular knock and announce, the police can use, this is the only specific term I'll say here, is exigent circumstances is what it's called, but it really means that the police can say, we saw something that looked criminal, and that means that they can just break in your house. So all across the country, the police can say, so say they're outside your door, they can say, I saw her flicker the lights, and that's an example that she is hiding in the house. They can say, I heard the toilet flush, and that is evidence destruction.
Wow.
And they can make up any of those reasons and just break in regardless of what type the warrant is. So we want to get in front of that.
I love that because if I'm not mistaken, this is the same thing that happened in the Breonna Taylor case, correct? So, there was some sort of break-in by the police. Yeah,
so like the police in Louisville had a no-knock warrant, but they said they executed like a knock and announce. They said that they said her name before they walked in. This one was, they had a no-knock warrant. They clearly did not knock. But they also lied similarly and said that they loudly said that they were.
Which also, I mean, you can hear, the fact that there's a recording and we can hear that you're not that loud and the recording is on you. Like, it's on you. I should be the loudest.
Yeah, you're like.
We should hear it the loudest.
And this is what we tell cities all the time, because we passed every single state law that restricts no-knock raids in U.S. history. We passed. There's 6 states.
Oh, wow.
Really proud of. We did it last year. We got more to go.
Subtle flex is brought to you by.
Yes, come on.
And we still got a lot of work to do, though.
Yes.
But there are 2 things that we tell everybody. Remember that the search warrant executions are planned.
Yes.
These are planned encounters.
They have to get signed by the judge.
You are bringing chaos.
Yeah.
You should plan better, right? Have you
and
really
also,
to search for something?
why are we doing this at 2 a.m.?
Yeah, you shouldn't.
What are you searching for? Like, to me, then that also heightens the amount of officers that you need in order to execute.
You want chaos.
Right.
You're planning for chaos.
Right. So what are the things, to me too, what it comes down to is what are the factors that would contribute to what qualifies for a no-knock and what, it's like if you're looking for one concealed weapon, he's licensed to have he has a licensed firearm. So
can you Google search warrant, like search warrant template or something, so you can see what a search warrant looks like?
Because in my mind, that's also like circumstantially why would we need to do that at 2:00 in the morning?
Okay.
Like,
the
why
first
are we
one is
not
the first one's a good one.
Zoom in on that.
Let's see.
Like, if there's not drug and human trafficking, why do we need to show up at anybody's house?
That's it. I could do this on Google Docs.
Yeah, so it's like all of them look like this. All of them look like it's literally fill in the blanks. It's not very deep.
This looks like an essay from 4th grade.
All of them look like some version of this.
Yeah.
You know? And you're like, that is wild.
That's wild.
Part of the chain, we have a whole campaign about this, is at endallnoknocks.org, where we've done a lot. We've mapped out every single law that we've seen around no knocks come. We've rated it. So Minneapolis, their collection of policies is a 5.5 out of 15. They got a lot more work to do.
Wow.
So part of the change is actually to make the application really aggressive on the front end. We think that the police should have to list the age and gender of everybody in the house.
Yep.
Like, you should know whether you're going in a house with 3 2-year-olds or 4 90-year-olds. Like, if you're going to plan it well. But the second thing we tell cities is that we assume compliance. For most people, if it's you 2 in the house and 15 police officers outside, it might take you a little bit to come outside, but you're like,
what if I'm in the shower? What if I'm listening to a podcast?
You're gonna come outside.
You're gonna come outside.
You're gonna come outside, and the police are like, "But what if they destroy? Let them destroy the cocaine and let them flush it. It don't matter." You know what I mean?
Well, you're gonna arrest them. You're there with the intent to arrest anyway. So it's
kind
of like
flush that Molly down.
But that's also why, when she had her one stint as a drug dealer for 3 minutes
2 weeks.
Oh God,
in Miami. I was 21. I was trying to make money.
It was
my anxiety wouldn't allow me. Honey, the cops came for my neighbors because they weren't paying rent, and they knocked, and I saw the badge, and I went to go flush, and then it wasn't for me, so I had to go save all the Molly out the toilet, and I just had to repackage it and see what I could save.
You were a street pharmacist for 2 seconds.
She was. It was giving euphoria for like all of 5 minutes. It was. My girl was Rue over here. Look at you. I'm proud.
My anxiety.
She said, I saw the police, and I knew they was coming for me.
I just saw. I said, who told on me?
Right. For your little measly, little Ziploc baby bags of drugs. But
don't do that.
No, it's true. I mean, I think those would be the questions for me. It's kind of like what warrants the escalation. It's
Absolutely.
like what are we actually seeking out, and what is the end result? Like, what is the goal? That's why I always say there's a difference between damage control and conflict resolution. Are you seeking to find a problem to solve, or creating a problem to solve, or are you actually going with a resolution in mind? What is the end game? You know what I mean?
And that's what's crazy when you look at the Minneapolis data. It's like they did the last big batch of no-knock warrants that they got and executed.
Yeah.
No evidence recovered.
So like, what are we spending time? Like,
Yeah, you're doing all this.
Right.
There's another study in Louisville. They did like hundreds of search warrants executed. Average dollar amount, $250. You're like, we should not be breaking into people. Like the public thinks that you're breaking in.
to fix that door. Then what y'all recover?
People think that they're breaking in to like save a hostage or like they are breaking.
Wow,
that's what it looks like.
Can
when
you
we
go
see
to
the
my
footage.
Twitter by any chance? Do you have Twitter up here? And see go to the media.
I'm thinking if you show up with 15 cops on somebody's porch,
I want to
that
show
you
you
have
you click on media
situation.
and then go
click on the media
and then go just keep scrolling down. There's a video of a no not great. So the family that killed, keep going down. You'll see it. This is a video. There's the police officers who killed Breonna Taylor.
Yes.
Also raided another house. Keep going. It's like, I don't have a ton of photos, but you'll see it. So raided another house, and we actually made a video of it. And I want you to see the video because it's so wild. And then I'm gonna have you guess what the this is like my life in pictures. But keep going. I'm sorry. This is coming. It's coming. We'll get to search warrants in a second. But I want you, let me set up the video. When you see it, I want you to tell me what you think, why you think they raided these people, why do you think they raided their house? And this family is incredible and luckily everybody survives, but the raid itself is so fantastical that you're like, what could possibly have happened? Yeah. Is it really this far back? It's coming. No, it's coming.
You be posting on Twitter.
Know, you do.
I actually haven't posted. Okay, here we go. Keep going down. It's like it'll be around. Keep going. It's a video. You'll see. We'll see.
Not the James Harden meme.
I know,
I love that gift.
It's like, well, welcome to my life in one fell swoop. I wish that there was like an easier way to do this, but everybody says I look like Leon, but keep going. From
kind of.
That's when I met you. That picture.
You know what? Wait. And look, I only know him. That's Cynthia Bailey's baby daddy, right?
Is
Leon?
it? Oh,
Leon, right?
From the Pop Up.
It is, right? Yes,
that's her baby daddy.
That's Cynthia Bailey's,
and he's still fine. Shout out
Keep
to
going.
him.
It's coming. I'm sorry. I'm the one. Wait, no, don't go too fast because you might miss it. Okay, keep going. Sorry, that's actually Katie. We're not talking about Katie. Keep going down.
We're not going to talk about Katie.
We're not going to talk about her.
No, don't talk about Katie. No.
People always bring up Katie. I'm friends with Katy Perry, but I'm on the board of her foundation. That's what people. I'm on the board of the foundation. We run a summer camp actually.
That's awesome.
And the summer camp is great, and she comes to the summer camp. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is really keep going down. This is like the day we launched. It should be keep going.
And I'll give the date.
Okay, here it is.
Here we go.
Okay. So can the sound play?
Yeah. Oh, they got the crowbar.
I realized that something was through the front door, and it was like I could just see like eyeballs and a gun on me.
Eyeballs and a gun on them.
This is real body camera footage.
So we're throwing smoke bombs and with no one in the doorway.
Look, though, I want you to see.
There's shots being fired?
It's not real bullets.
The rubber bullets.
Wait, and this is the kid now.
He came out with his hands up, and you're still asking if he's got anything on him.
These are children.
Yeah. And they're still pointing the gun in the house as the unarmed kids are coming down the stairs.
Oh yeah, no, this is sad. This is crazy.
That's the mom.
I'm also, guys, I'll link this video in the description of this episode so that y'all can see.
That's the dad. So I want you to tell me what you think the offense was.
I mean, at that point, it got to be murder. They looking for a murderer. Like the smoke bomb in the house, and the guns never got pulled down. Even though kids were coming down the stairs, the guns were never
not a murder. It's a family in the house. So maybe domestic violence, maybe some assault situation.
Not domestic violence.
I'm not at this point.
So this is true. The police said that police officers in the neighborhood previously and said that he smelled a whiff of marijuana.
You lying.
That was why they raided their house.
What state was this?
This is in Louisville.
This is in Kentucky.
Wow.
It's the same, these officers are the same set of officers who killed Breonna.
Wow.
So they send tactical force.
They surround
for a whiff of
marijuana.
A whiff of marijuana. We didn't include. They surround the back. So one of the daughters runs out back because she doesn't know what's happening. They have a set of kids. One of the daughters runs out back, and there's video of them catching her. She's freaked out because she's like, "What?"
No.
A whiff. Now the craziest part of this is that when he said he smelled the marijuana, they didn't even live there. They didn't even live in the house.
But also, how do you smell unless you're on the porch? Like, there's 2 doors. How do you smell marijuana if you're not on the property?
Wow.
A whiff of marijuana.
Wild. That's wild.
And they like went, and that's the thing when we tell people, they think we're being dramatic, and it's like, I want to show you because you saw that,
right?
And you were like, you must be looking for a murderer.
That's wild.
That is crazy.
That is insane. Yeah, nah. I'm good.
I'm like, well, maybe it's a domestic abuse call and somebody heard screams.
No evidence. They didn't see marijuana.
Just a whiff.
A whiff. Those people, that family didn't even live in the house on the day that he said he smelled it. That is wild.
Yeah, that's insane.
So what can people do? I mean, that's what I do want to ask. Like, what can an ordinary citizen do to participate in the changing? Because I feel like we have this conversation around presidential elections only, and we don't reinforce the importance of local elections and local and participating in local legislation. But what can an ordinary citizen do to participate in the changing of this process?
Yeah. So 2 big things is that most people aren't stressing out their city council people or their elected people until there's a really big crisis.
Right.
We need to stress them out every single second, every single moment. So joining with other people to like press elected officials actually matters a whole lot, and like it really matters. The second thing is that we run issue-based campaigns. So if you go to end.allnonox.org, then you will see you'll see a whole thing around no-nox. How to do no-nox. We had another campaign called 8 Can't Wait, which is about use of force policies. So we try and roll out these like very specific. We have a whole campaign coming out about felony theft called Raise the Threshold. We're actually launching 14 campaigns in the first half of 2022 because there's so much work. Like drug-free school zones. You probably don't realize drug-free school zones have nothing to do with kids or drugs, really. It's just another way to do mandatory minimum. So in New York, this is interesting. So this will be the last thing I say is the way
I used to love Dare.
Oh my God.
What a waste.
There's some research that suggests that Dare actually made people more likely to use drugs.
It did.
So
it advertised drugs.
Yeah.
It absolutely did.
So this is another quiz, is that the way drug-free school zones work is that it says 1,000 feet in front of, I gave it away. It's 1,000.
Yeah. Now she came in here ready to quiz us.
1,000 feet away?
So it's in New York, it's 1,000 feet in front of any school is the drug-free school zone. So it comes with like a sentence enhancement. 1,000 feet in New York City is that's the whole neighborhood.
Yeah, that's a lot. That is a lot, right? 1,000 feet?
1,000 feet is a lot.
That's around the block and across the street. Like, you have to be
1,000 feet.
incredibly far.
Okay, real quick. I mean, come on, mathematician. Give me an idea.
I was a math teacher. I was not a mathematician. But let's Google 1,000 feet.
1,000 feet. Like, how many football fields is that? Or I need like for my head, 1,000 is a big number.
1,000 feet examples. Yep. Good push.
You know what I mean?
The other thing I'll say. So in Alabama, it's 3 miles around every school, daycare.
It's not.
3 miles?
Public housing. So 70% of the state of Alabama is actually a drug-free school zone that comes with a mandatory 5-year sentence if you do a certain set of crimes.
So if you drive within a mile of a school, by the way, you can't see anything a mile away necessarily.
Wild.
A mile within a school, you go away for 5 years.
And people know that it's bad, but the reason why it's been hard to undo is that people, like, you don't want to be the person that's pro drugs in school.
Right.
So people feel like they can't fight drug-free school zones, but you're like, literally, it's just to put people in jail. It's just to like, and the reason that it benefits the suburbs is that in suburbs, the schools are not close to people's houses. So 1,000 feet, but in a city, 1,000 feet, that's a housing project. That's a whole neighborhood.
That's a few blocks away. You have to be a few blocks. You won't even know. You could be a few blocks away walking in the. We live in the neighborhood of a high school, and we had no idea. And we
first off, and I'm mad. I ain't even gonna hold you, because when we moved in, the little motherfuckers was learning from home.
Everybody was on Zoom.
I love it.
So we're like, look at this beautiful abandoned building.
I love it.
And then the motherfuckers came back, and I was like, shit, I can't leave my house in the morning because
I called her from the deli. I called her from the deli.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. I'm like,
I'm like, the whole neighborhood is infested. I can't even get a bacon, egg, and cheese.
I hate it. I was mad. One
you were probably those kids back in the day. Those annoying high schoolers.
I'm from Florida.
Sure
I'm from
was.
Florida.
That sure was.
In Midtown, I went to LaGuardia, so it was all residential at that time.
Not me. I'm from Florida. We actually have schools with land. We're not piled on each other.
That's cute.
I know you have to get out of here, DeRay, but can you let our listeners know, because you are also a podcaster amongst many other things, but can you let us know or let our audience know where they can listen to you?
Yeah, so my podcast is called Pod Save the People. It's by Cricket Media.
Yes.
Listen to it. We cover news that you don't know every week, and then we have like a guest on. So excited, and hopefully people can join us in the work. I help lead an organization called Campaign Zero. We're trying to end police violence and move to a conception of safety beyond policing.
Definitely look that up, guys. And real quick, we are going to still give you guys Freshly Squeezed, but can you just share with us, before you leave, what music are you listening to right
Tim's,
now?
Interference by Tim's. That's my song, my shower song, my end of the day song. But I will tell you, this has been a rough last week for me. And I could hear every single rendition of Total Praise.
I saw that tweet early this morning. I did.
Literally.
I did. And I was like, yeah.
Total Praise? I could do Total Praise morning, noon, and night. You know Total Praise.
No.
So I don't be knowing a lot.
You don't know.
Oh my God. Okay. Let somebody get some Total Praise.
So Destiny's Child does.
Oh, I know Destiny's Child.
They do the revamp. I know. I was just trying to give her the revamp in their gospel medley.
Yikes.
In their gospel medley. Where's the aux? Jesus.
Wait, what is it called?
Total Praise. There's like
it's a classic gospel song. Like,
Lord, I will lift.
Go ahead.
You don't know that?
Rise
to the hills. You gotta play it though.
Girl, no, but you just gave us the vocal.
Take us to the rest of it. You know, God is using you. Let him use you. Let him use you.
I wasn't chosen today.
Let him use you.
I wasn't chosen today. But no, Total Praise is a staple. It is a gospel staple.
And when the choir does it, you're like, come on, let him use you.
So at the end, they all sing Amen, and the choir goes
Amen. Amen. That ending was like, I don't really know. You had me for the beginning of it. That was like,
the beginning was good.
I am not the singer here.
Well, please.
Okay,
please give your listeners.
We're gonna play it.
You will know it. You'll be like, okay.
Oh, that song.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she'll know it. She'll know it.
Well, DeRay, thank you so very much.
Love you.
Yeah,
so good to be here.
I'm so glad you came and joined us here on the couch. And we hope that you guys did too. Make sure you guys check out his podcast as well.
And we'll see you soon.
All right.
Well, I thought we were going to transition with Total Praise.
Me too. And then I was just like, no.
You're like, never mind.
Sorry. I was just like,
that's all right.
It's not Sunday. I'm sorry.
I'll pray for you later.
I'm not in the mood
to. God is not just reserved for Sundays, obviously.
Praise and worship normally
That's okay. You've been singing this new Music Soul Child song, Love, long enough, and you didn't even know you were singing to Jesus. But look at you go. Look at you go.
Damn, did you have to bring that back up?
Had to.
Damn.
Had to.
And then you know what? I realized we didn't talk about probably my favorite song from him is Teach Me How to Love.
Oh.
You gonna teach me how to love?
I mean, that might also
teach
should
me
be
how
aimed
to
at God.
Love. Show you the way to surrender my. Okay, I know the words when the music.
I'm gonna teach you how to sing, and I'm gonna let somebody else teach you how to love. That's how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna teach you how to sing. We gonna start.
Listen, maybe I've been listening to too much Moneybagg Yo to where okay. Let me put on my Music Soul Child playlist to prepare for February 15th.
And since we now go February 14th, you mean?
No, bitch, I'm talking about the verses. Fuck Valentine's Day. I'm gonna celebrate that too, but I'm talking about the verses.
Yes,
coming on the 15th. But
since we not gonna praise God, it's time for Freshly Squeezed. Yeah, baby.
Oh shit! And I
lost your aux cord.
I lost my aux cord.
Come on now.
Oh, I need it back. Hold on, I need it back because.
Come on now.
Also, I did want to give.
Oh Lord!
Sorry for that, guys. I did want to real quick give a round of applause again to our
friends with benefits.
DeRay for stopping by. Sorry as well, guys, if that was kind of loud in your ear. But we're here to the Freshly Squeezed and. Are we starting with the hippity hop of mine, or did we want to get into what do you have this week?
I mean,
because there was a lot of good new music. Can I just start by saying that?
Yeah,
there was a lot of good music.
Like
Thank God.
I mean, I got two songs I want to play, but they're both very different. And one is Afrobeat, obviously.
Okay.
And another is R&B ish, like R&B vibey soul ish.
Well then
so we can start with the hippity hop.
Okay, so I guess
you can lead us
before we get into what I'm playing. I did want to shout out to all the projects that came out.
Yeah.
So 2 Chainz did drop the Dope Don't Sell Itself album, which I've been getting into because I love me some 2 Chainz. But also Yo Gotti dropped a side A and side B of CM10, and he has Kodak Black, Shenseea, like he has really good features, and I'm rocking with that as well. And we did a little bit of the shit we don't care about. We're not going to be able to really deep dive into it, but since we're into music, I'm going to tell you guys now. I don't give a fuck about that NM song featuring Lil Baby. I just want to say NM because I don't want the Barbs to come and attack me. I didn't say her name, but it just wasn't giving. And I'm good. I'm good on it. For her to be coming back. Oh no, turn it off. I don't want to hear it.
I didn't hear it, so I don't know anything about it.
You didn't miss out on much. What is it? Looking for trouble? Do we have a problem? Look, I'm thinking it's looking for trouble. It's
not even close.
It's do we have a problem?
Word.
It just wasn't giving. It was a 9-minute video that I thought acting was done poorly in. She looks so bad, bro. Like, and she looks good, but the acting is just really, really bad. But it's one of the songs that I don't care about, and again, I'm just cool on all of her decisions that she's made with who she chooses to collaborate with and everything else under the sun regarding her. So I don't care about that song. Okay. So you guys won't be getting that song from us. But one of my favorite songs that I really wanted to play from you guys.
I'm gonna watch this 9-minute video though. I'm happy that there's a 9-minute video. I like long videos. I can appreciate it. It wasn't all right. It's not they said it wasn't worth it.
I mean, if you just don't ask for those 9 minutes back, because you will never get them back. And
I mean, I'll be okay with the 9 minutes. Most of y'all still trying to get me to sit for 3 hours through that stupid ass boat sinking
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not
doing 9 minutes. I'm not gonna give y'all. I'm not gonna give y'all 3 hours. I'll give y'all 9 minutes.
You're lying, but you're lying because then you said you sat 4 hours through like some superhero show movie thingy. I'm just saying you did. You said you sat 4 hours through Jay, what was it?
Justice League.
Justice League, bitch. You gave them motherfuckers 4 hours. You could. Yeah. Okay, fine. Give.
I would, and most of us have. Most of us would.
That's fine. Give old girl your little 9 minutes.
I guarantee you. Here's the part that's fucked up too, right? If Titanic came out today, our 30-something asses would not fucking watch that shit. You would not. We watched it as kids because it was Leonardo DiCaprio.
I would watch it.
No, you would not.
I would watch it because I like Leonardo DiCaprio, bitch. I told you I saw Don't Look Up 3 times. In the first week,
yeah, but that wasn't just because of Leo, because he looks really homely in that movie. That was not for him.
He did have the dad bod. It wasn't giving it.
It was giving the buttons on his shirt were about to pop from that dad
right.
belly.
He did gain some weight.
We're not
finna body shame. Why you body shaming dad bod?
He was not giving. The energy wasn't even sexy. It wasn't the weight. He just wasn't. He was not fine in the film.
I mean, period. I like nerds. Nerds are cool. Okay, never mind. All right, well, the song that I want to play, when I tell you this shit goes, and I'm going to let it rock because I want you to hear all 3 artists that are on it. This is a single, and I'm hoping maybe somehow they're able to do it at the Super Bowl because it is Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Busta, and Anderson .Paak.
Oh, that's a lot of fucking people on one record.
My goodness. Now, we're probably not going to get to Busta's verse, but this song is called ETA.
Oh.
And when I tell you this shit go,
I love Anderson .Paak and I love Busta. So
I say, just listen. Let's see what we got. So again, this is ETA.
I like the beat already.
Oh, it go. And I'm gonna let it ride. Just hear the flow. Just hear the flow, y'all. Hear me out.
Oh. This is a vibe. Who produced this? Let's look this up.
All right, y'all.
I love Anderson.
Me too. Come on.
Okay.
Right. I had Dickies on last week. Y'all. And then here goes Snoop. Listen to this.
Hey. 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 Okay.
Tell me this. This
All
shit
right, Snoop.
goes.
I like this, Mandii.
This shit goes.
You know what? And very strategic. Y'all better go ahead and go off dropping records before the Super Bowl.
Right before the Super Bowl.
I hope they're going to perform that. Bring Anderson out. Go
Listen,
ahead.
please bring Anderson out.
I love that for y'all.
That
And
was
Busta.
that was of course. Oh my God, I think I put that one on a loop and was just like, that's actually what I bathed my pussy to this morning.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, like I was just I was like,
Excellent.
bitch, made me want to smoke a blunt, but then I remembered how
What
I
happened
almost
to you
died.
this weekend, and that was a dub.
Thanks, Sante.
Clips.
The other one that I wanted to share as well is a single by YG. And it features J. Cole and Moneybagg Yo, of course. And it's called Scared Money, but I really just wanted to focus on Cole's verse because I think, first off, y'all know I'm obsessed.
Yes.
But also, it seems like he hinted to some music coming.
Oh.
So I just wanted to play his verse real quick. And, one moment.
That makes me want to go back to LA for a little bit.
Listen.
I'm ready because it's cold.
Listen. And so this is J. Cole's verse on Scared Money. Hey.
Oh.
I mean, that should have been used last year, but I get it.
Yeah.
You know.
I like this beat too.
Yes. Here we go.
Oh, this is my new workout song. Yeah.
Ew.
Wow.
That's right, nigga. Make room. Stay tuned.
Wow.
I know that's right.
Wow.
But no, the beat goes. It definitely is workout music. Moneybagg Yo's verse definitely rides on that thing too. And that was Scared Money, and it's literally Scared Money don't make no money.
Yeah.
Yeah. But those are my two little hippity hop songs, and also get into Yo Gotti's. Definitely get into Yo Gotti's project as well. Side A and Side B, CM10, and shout out to him. I want to give him a round of applause before you drop.
Let's go, Yo Gotti.
Shout out to Yo Gotti. He and it was Yo Gotti, right? That did the challenge of the bar for bar verse that's going around, if I'm not mistaken. Put up.
Yes, it was Yo Gotti.
And he actually ended up awarding one of the CAU girl. So she goes to Clark Atlanta, and he paid her tuition.
Fire.
She was the winner of the bar for bar challenge. Online, which I thought was super dope. He he gave his bars, then they gave theirs, and it was supposed to go back and forth, and it gave the opportunity of a lot of people. And I just like that he showcased, I believe, two of the people rapping were women, and they were dropping fucking bars. But I think the winner was the one that went to Clark Atlanta. So, congratulations to her. And everyone who participated in that and got some shine from Yo Gotti. I thought it was innovative. I thought it was dope. I'm
just happy too that the emphasis is bringing it back to lyricists. It's bringing the emphasis back to it being bar for bar. I think that's really great.
Yeah, I like that too.
That's fire.
I like that too.
All right, Yo Gotti, shout out to you.
Shout out to you. What you got for us today, girl?
So Adekunle Gold is who I played a couple weeks ago. He had a single called Mercy, and he dropped a project called Catch Me If You Can. And y'all know how I feel about Afrobeats, especially for myself in the wintertime, I have seasonal depression. And so listening to Afrobeats makes me happy. It makes me feel like I'm on vacation, which is how everybody should feel. And so he dropped a project, and there's a couple songs on here that I really, really love. But the one I really liked the most was called More Than Enough. And so I wanted to play that. And it's just him, but it's just, to me, I like a good little vibe, but I can just chill to, cook to, clean to, just vibe out, put my makeup on too.
I like this.
Yeah.
I overdose on love too.
Yeah. Give me more than enough.
Oh yeah, this is cleaning. I like this. I like this.
Yeah. You're mine too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this goes.
So
that goes.
Atakun Let Gold. Project is called Catch Me If You Can, but More Than Enough is this song. And this just up my alley, man. Anything with good instrumentation is also
I like that.
Definitely a vibe. Another artist that dropped a project, Moonchild. They're a group actually. They're not.
Okay.
I actually thought it was one person initially, because Moonchild obviously it's one, and then it's actually But they
Moonchild.
Yeah, Moonchilds.
You be putting me on.
Yeah, and they dropped a little project called Starfruit. And so the song I'm gonna play from them is called Too Good. And this is just, early morning sometimes when you first wake up and you just wanna relax for a second. You make some coffee, you make some tea, or you do your little apple cider vinegar with water, a little lemon water. This is something you could definitely start your day with. Or as like a cool down, you know what I'm saying? Or just a wind down. If you're on your way home and you just want to relax after work.
You did that good intro. It was giving Quiet Storm.
Right? This lyric video for this song too is really fire. Fire. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You could tell we in love. That's right.
Oh yeah, you definitely in love, girl. You in love, girl.
Yeah.
You in love.
Shout out to Moonchild. That was too good. Yeah, man, it's good music this week.
It is.
I was very happy about all this music this week.
A lot of good music. And I want to give a huge shout out to One Moment, because this is great. I have a message to, here we go.
You do? Boy.
This song is beautiful, but it also goes out to all the people who want to continue to get into our YouTube comments and talk about how, oh my God, I still can't believe they're potting. I still can't believe they're here. And I'm not sure if I'm saying this last name correctly, but Tobe Wigwe. I hope I'm saying that right, but this is the message that I have for you guys.
Yeah, because this was the message of the week.
This is the Listen here. Please take mine. Here we go. Unfollow me. Just do it. Do us a favor. Follow me. Wait.
Unfollow me.
Hate. Go ahead.
Let's go, Tobe. Shout out to Tobe and Fat.
Follow me today. That was my motherfucker. That was my mood. And we're definitely getting out of the pot to that as well. Listen, it is Black History Month. Take your negativity,
please,
elsewhere.
Please.
But also, I am not going to sit here and big up the haters without appreciating and giving thanks to all of our supporters. I wanted to do that to everyone who tunes in and listens to us wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, but also if you watch us. And again, guys, if you did not know, we now have a brand new YouTube page.
That's correct.
So make sure you type in See the Thing Is Podcast and subscribe to our all new YouTube page where you could see this full episode. So y'all know we drop audio every Tuesday and Friday. Well, our video and visuals are dropped every Wednesday and Saturday. So again, please make sure you guys go on over, subscribe, comment, like. The more subscribers and things we have, the easier it is for people to find us. So if you definitely like listening to us, make sure you do that. And also, if you want some more bonus content, where can they go for that?
They can go to Patreon for that, honey.
They sure can.
And our Patreon actually has taken a turn for the better, I think, because Mandii and I really have embarked on so much as friends also this year that a lot of the topics we get to discuss with each other and with our friends with benefits has really kicked up a notch. For those of you that have tuned in, obviously one of our last episodes was with Alexis Stoudemire, who we know and love. And so lots of really deep introspective conversations, some informative conversations as well. So make sure you go over to patreon.com/See the Thing Is Pod and subscribe. We got several tiers for y'all. So we're not trying to knock you over the head with cost.
But also next month we're gonna have some really dope content because Bridget and I are heading back out west to LA. And if you guys remember that last trip, you were able to sit down with Estelle and India Sean, but we also had Ye Ali, we had Dorian. We also had the girls from Good Moms Bad Choices. And so that content was just really, really good. So I'm super excited to who we're going to collab with out in LA. But no, guys, we still have we're just grateful for all of y'all rocking with us. And we really hope that y'all are enjoying these 2 episodes a week. Yeah. By the way, I'm just going to go ahead and tease it out there. While we had our very own and our new Friends with Benefits here on the couch, Deray, for this week, the one coming in on Friday is one of y'all's faves.
Yeah.
So
we're not going to spoil it, but you got to tune in.
You got to tune in, but we have a returning Friends with Benefits on Friday's episode. Yeah. So super excited. It's going to be laughs. It's going to be a lot of shits and giggles.
Lots of TV to talk about too.
I know
y'all really wait. I read my Twitter. I read the Twitter feed and the replies and the comments. I know y'all want to get our takes on some of these shows. We're trying to keep it locked in on Thursdays because so much TV happens during the week between Friday and then Monday, Tuesday. We want to make sure we get
apparently during the weekend
covered.
I get so high I'm not able to really watch television. So thanks to Sante for that as well. I appreciate it. By the way, just shout out to the team. We have a dope team here part of the See the Thing Is squad. So guys, thank y'all for tuning in. And if you don't like us, unfollow me. Nah, but thank you guys. Damn. This is what, episode 72? 72. See you guys episode 73 later this week, y'all.
Yeah, y'all.
We appreciate y'all.
Have a great rest of your day.
Peace out.
Bye.
What the hell is wrong with you? Hey,
I don't care what you've been through. Unfollow.
And he did it so beautifully.
Who is hitting these ad-libs? Who is this? Let's not say we know who this background singer is. Shit. I'm gonna find him, sis.
Bye, guys.